Back in the 1980s, American popular culture was going crazy for ninjas, and Transformers wasn't above trying to tap into the fad with the bot we're going to take a look at in this week's installment of Obscure Characters Month. These are the basics on Nightbird. Nightbird was an original character created for the Transformers animated series, a mute female ninja robot who appeared in the 1985 episode Enter the Nightbird, likely titled after the film that kick-started the ninja craze, 1981's Enter the Ninja. Nightbird was built by human scientist Dr. Fujiyama as a showcase for how advanced robotics technology had become. Though constructed with limited power to ensure she was harmless, Nightbird was stolen by the Decepticons and rewired and reprogrammed by the Insecticon Bombshell, powering her up to become a true deadly ninja warrior. At Megatron's command, Nightbird infiltrated Autobot headquarters and stole a computer chip containing information on all the world's energy sources. The Autobots pursued her, but her ninja skills and weaponry made her a formidable opponent, and the heroes only managed to claim victory when Starscream, jealous of the praise that Megatron was heaping on Nightbird and afraid that she would take his place in the Decepticon hierarchy, shot her in the back with his null ray, shutting her down and allowing the Autobots to return her to Fujiyama. The episode concluded with Nightbird being placed in storage after supposedly being deprogrammed, but the angry glare that crossed her features as the scene faded out suggested otherwise. Now, ninjas are a dime a dozen in Transformers these days, but Nightbird was the first. Not just that, but she was also the first ever female robot of any kind to appear in Transformers canon, which made her a memorable cult favourite in the early days of online fandom in the 1990s. To those who were around at the time, she's famous for her role in what you might call one of the fandom's earliest ship wars. Arguments used to run pretty hot over whether a few lines of suggestive dialogue from Megatron extolling Nightbird's virtues meant that the Decepticon leader had a more than professional interest in the ninja.
Terrific! She's everything I've always wanted!
It's likely that being so frequently discussed by fans back in the day is what led to Nightbird briefly sneaking her way into some comic books in the early 2000s. First, in 2001, Transformers The Wreckers, produced for the official convention BotCon that year, depicted a near-future scenario in which Fujiyama had built an entire army of Nightbirds, decked out in the colours of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which once again went rogue and were only destroyed through the heroic sacrifice of Daniel Witwicky and Wheelie. Then, in 2004, Nightbird cameoed in Dreamwave Productions comics as a fictional character who was the star of her own movie, named, what else, Enter the Nightbird. After that, Nightbird wouldn't be heard from again until the 2010s. This decade saw the release of the very first piece of Nightbird merchandise, a minifigure from the Creo building block toy line, available exclusively at BotCon 2015. This was quickly followed later the same year by the first true, full-size Nightbird toy, branded as a member of the Decepticons and released as part of the Japanese Transformers Legends toy line. Nightbird wasn't a transforming robot in the original cartoon, but as a recolor and retool of the Transformers Generation's RC figure, this toy did transform into a Cybertronian car. The tie-in Legends manga continued Nightbird's story after the events of the cartoon, explaining that after escaping Fujiyama's storage, she had acquired the ability to transform by studying with the mysterious clan of ninja transformers, the Six Clan. Later, when Megatron relocated to the goofy, cartoonish parallel universe of the Legends world and became head of its Terrakura company, he took Nightbird with him and used the company's resources to mass-produce copies of the ninja, selling them to the public as robot maids. History repeated itself and the mass-produced Nightbirds went out of control, but Megatron had programmed them with a clumsiness function that made them more adorable than dangerous and kept them from doing any real damage. The original Nightbird could still be a threat when she needed to be, though. When renegade Six Clan member Sixshot arrived in the Legends world, Nightbird attacked him for his betrayal of the clan, stabbing him and leaving him to die. Now, something else fans used to argue about back in the day was whether Nightbird was a lifeless, pre-programmed robot, or if Bombshell's upgrades had turned her into a sentient being. The cartoon was unclear, hence the debate, but the Legends manga depicted her as sentient, as did the Transformers Earth Wars mobile game, which was just one of several pieces of ancillary media in which Nightbird would make appearances during the 2010s as her profile began to rise once again. Likely her most notable impact on media this decade, though, was when she served as the loose inspiration for the design of the triple-changing female Decepticon Shatter from the live-action Bumblebee movie. Most recently, in 2019, a second transforming Nightbird figure was released as part of the War for Cybertron Siege toy line, retooled and recolored from the Siege Chromia figure. The toy represents a new incarnation of Nightbird who isn't a human-built robot like the original, but rather a true transformer from Cybertron, and Nightbird even appeared in this form in the Transformers trading card game. This idea had also been previously expressed in IDW Publishing's comic books. Nightbird didn't appear in those stories, but she was name-checked as a city speaker from the Cybertronian colony world of Caminus. Like most cult favourites, it's tough to predict where Nightbird will appear next, but as a ninja, she's used to waiting in the shadows, biding her time until the moment comes for the Nightbird to make her entrance once more. And those are the basics on Nightbird. Do you remember the old fan debates, or is this ninja ancient history to you? Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and hit subscribe for more Transformers history and lore, and don't miss next week's final installment of Obscure Characters Month 2020.